What's up, everybody? I'm Mitch.
And I'm Dustin, and you're tuned in to the Fatmen podcast. Welcome.
So, like we start every episode off, I want to give our veteran highlight to Specialist Nicholas Leibkap. He's a part of the 438th Chemical Company. He is an outstanding soldier. I've had the privilege of working with him over the past few years, and we just wanted to thank you for your service and everything you do. So,
thank you for your service.
Hell yeah. So today we have a very special guest. He's a combat veteran. He served in the Marine Corps from 2004 to 2008, and then he also is the owner of Body Ops Coaching, where he works directly with veterans on a day-to-day basis. And so we wanted to bring his story and what he does to you guys. So the one and only Mr. Matt Priess.
Welcome, Matt.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Did I say your name right, Priess?
Yeah, you got it. 100%.
All right, perfect,
Awesome.
perfect.
Awesome.
So to start this off, could you give us a little bit of your background? We'll start with your military service and just what led you to where you're at today.
Yeah, for sure. So I was in the Marine Corps from 2004 to 2008. Did a tour in Iraq. Got to go to Japan. I'm just all over the country. So I was a field radio operator attached to an artillery unit. So we were probably one of the only companies that really got to do like real artillery in Iraq. So that was kind of cool and like our little claim to fame, I guess, if you call it that. Yeah, so basically when I was in Iraq, I messed up my back. I had 2 herniated discs. Came back and life was never the same. I got surgery, and then I think I maybe had like 6 months left when I was right after my surgery. So didn't have to do a whole lot, but when I got out, I just didn't do much of anything. Got addicted to pain pills, essentially. Got fat, out of shape. Kind of the typical veteran story, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I just woke up one day and was like, man, this shit sucks. Like, I can't do it, And I think as veterans, we all kind of are like, oh, nobody's going to tell me to run anymore. Nobody's going to tell me to do shit. Like, I'm really not going to do shit. And we know where that leads. So yeah, I kind of picked myself back up, got back in shape. People started asking me kind of how I did it. And so that kind of led into me becoming a personal trainer, got certified. And not long after, I opened up my own gym in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So did that gym for about, appreciate it. Yeah, I did that for about 9 years. And then around COVID is when I really started looking into the online thing. Found it to be kind of way better business model and a way better for my clients too. Because what I noticed with the gym is like, I mean, we all know we can work our ass off in the gym, and if we're not doing the things on the outside the right way, we're just gonna like basically be spinning our wheels. And that happened a lot with my clients, even though I would give them nutritional advice, things like that. But with the personal coaching, it's a lot more tailored to what's going on outside of the gym versus just like go in the gym and work out. Like, I think that's a good base, right? And we all need that. But at the end of the day, like if you want results, you got to really do the 90%, right? And that's outside the gym. So that's what got me into the Body Ops Coaching. And yeah, obviously I'm a veteran, so that was kind of my niche that I picked, and turned out to be a good niche. A lot of veterans need it. And yeah, so it's been a good ride the last 4 years now.
That's really awesome. And that's kind of a large part of what motivated us to do what we're doing with the podcast, especially with our audience being predominantly military. Both me and him, we've struggled with our weight even since we've been in. I'm sure in your time in, you've seen those guys that they were always up and down. And like for me, a little bit about my story was it was like I would get in shape, in great shape for PT test time, and then you're like, I'm done. And so then you just lax throughout the year, and then that time comes again. And as I got older, it got a lot harder and harder. And before I knew it, COVID hit, and the same thing that happened to everybody else happened to me. I got to my fattest. And that there's something to be said about trying to wear a uniform whenever you're that out of shape. Like there's a bit of humiliation whenever it comes to that. Like, how is that guy wearing that uniform that's painted on him, And so, yeah, it was ridiculous. And so fast forward, we linked up, and we both had mutual goals, and we wanted to do something. And so now I'm about 60 pounds down, and we've been in the gym for 2.5 years. And the thing that we noticed is there's a lot of veterans that share our story, whether they're still in or whether they're out. And we wanted to show our audience that, hey, we see so much of that perfect Instagram world out there where everybody has the perfect bodies and it's just like wham, bam, snap, they got it done. We wanted to take people on the ride and show them as we go along. So we relate to that, to your story, and we just think that it's really great what you did. And so I think that it will help a lot of people. And I'm sure, how many veterans have you worked with so far?
Oh man, probably well over 2,000 now. At any given time,
wow.
we have upwards of 250 veterans at any given time in the program. So obviously, some don't stay forever, but then we're always bringing on new veterans to get them through the program. So yeah, we work with a lot of veterans.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What is your so I imagine you get people at all different levels in their fitness journey. What is the number one thing that you see people struggling with at first, when they're getting started?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of different things depending on the person, but I think if it comes to a military veteran, it's really just like trying to go from 0 to 100 in like a week, right? Because we all think like, we're tough, we're badass, we can go in and do this and we'll get it done. And what ends up happening, we either hurt ourselves or we burn out real quick, right? And there's not a longevity approach to it. So I think that's the biggest thing is like people are ready, they're motivated, they're ready to go, which is great. But they want, the instant results, and then, and maybe they get them, but it's just not a sustainable approach. So we try to kind of focus everything in on their daily life and what's going on with their day to day. Because I don't know if you guys are married, have kids, that type of thing, but that's a typical veteran our age, right? So we want to be able to make sure we are customizing towards that lifestyle, right? And because, like you said, you see all the Instagram, models, all this shit, like, we don't got time to be in the gym for 2 hours at a time, 7 days a week. Yeah. Taking our fucking chicken, broccoli, rice with us wherever we go. Like, I got 3 kids myself. We decently healthy, but sometimes the kids got sports. We got to pick something. So it's like navigating all those things in the right way, and that takes like a long-term sustainable approach versus just like hard crash diet, hard fucking in the gym going 100 miles an hour. So really just trying to fix that mindset of like, this is a lifestyle thing. Like, we're going to fix this over time. It's not going to take, a month, 2 months. It's going to take, I tell everybody, you should have a coach for like a year at least, right? Or be on your own journey for like a year, right? And then you start figuring it out, and then you're more self-disciplined and you have your internal accountability. You don't need the external as much. I think you always should have the external, but you start building that internal better.
Yeah. And that's where like we've came into play. Like, it's been great having that accountability partner because we're very like-minded in the way that we think. So like on those days that I don't want to go, he's like, stop being a bitch, you get in the gym. And in fact, so we always say our number one rule for the Fatmen project is don't be a bitch. And so that's how we end every podcast. But having that external person outside of you that helps push you, like I wouldn't be where I'm at today had it not been for that. Now you had touched when you were talking at the beginning about a lot of people, they come in, especially whenever you were running your gym, they would come in and they'd give it their all, but whenever they go home, they struggle with the like they say, the abs aren't made in the gym, they're made in the kitchen. What advice would you give for that? Because I will be honest, that's my hardest part is, I mean, I'm getting better at it and learning each day, but I know that we've struggled whenever it comes to...
How many honey buns have you had in the last 2 weeks?
I haven't had any in the past 2 weeks.
That's awesome. He used to use honey buns as a pre-workout.
It was because I realized sometimes I needed the quick calories, and I realized if I was really short on calories, there's 450 calories in a honey bun. There's 450, 500 calories in chicken and rice. That honey bun looked a lot better.
Yeah. And honestly, like that's my whole approach too. Is like obviously you don't want to fucking eat honey buns every day, all day, and that type of
Right.
shit. But it's really, it is a calorie in versus calorie out to a certain extent. So it's like if you fucking skip a meal, like sometimes we have the biggest problem with people not fucking eating. And it's like, bro, like, go eat a fucking Snickers. Like, I'll be the number one guy to tell my clients, like, go eat a fucking Snickers, bro, because like this fucking not eating shit. Like, I don't understand it myself because I love to fucking eat. So I'm like, how are we missing meals here? Like, my day is literally
Yeah.
planned around my
Right.
fucking meals, right? So I'm like, but some people struggle with it, and that's okay. But they have to understand that, like, just because you missed a meal or something like that, it doesn't really matter so much what calories you're putting in as it matters just get those calories in, because the metabolism works in a certain way to where if you're not getting enough, it's just staying put, right? So it's better to do something. It might not be the best thing ever, that quote unquote healthiest thing ever, but it's better to hit that number, right? I'm just a numbers guy. Like, I just want to see you hit your numbers, because everything will work once we start hitting numbers, and then we can fix the process as we go. But if we never get you to that point because you think you got to eat chicken, broccoli, rice, you're like, I can't hit this 2,000 calorie diet because I'm eating chicken, broccoli, rice, and every meal is only 300 calories. And I'm trying to eat 7 meals a day. Like, that's not going to work, right? So sometimes we
Yeah.
need that. Sometimes you do need to eat that bullshit food to hit the numbers.
And that was one thing that it's a mind fuck thing, because we've been told all this bullshit for our whole entire lives. And I went to this program the Army National Guard has. It's called H2F, Holistic Health and Fitness, and phenomenal trainers. But like, they were the ones that introduced me to that idea about first finding out your BMR, and then what your athletic level is based off of that, and then you figure out what just your maintenance level calories are. And whenever I figured that out, I'm like, oh shit, I have a lot more calories that I'm supposed to be eating than I do. And now, like, for instance, he's been big on me about meal prepping, and I'm terrible at it. But
You're getting better.
Last week was my first like real week that like I hunkered down, and I figured out all my macros and like all the shit. Just I wanted to do it more as an experiment. And I struggled eating I thought I wasn't going to eat enough. I struggled, like, oh shit, I got to get those calories in. And
I do the same thing every week.
Whenever you change your mind about things, you're not starving. Sometimes you're just like, man, I just need to get that shit in. And that was a weird thing for me mentally, especially struggling with my weight my whole life.
Right. It's counterintuitive. You're like, fuck, I got to just eat a lot less than I've been eating. Well, it's like, well, you're not really eating enough. Like, and we find that a lot where people are like, I don't know why I can't lose weight. Like, I don't even eat that much. And it's like, that's the problem. Like, the metabolism works in a certain way to where, once you get everything up to par, then the body does what it's supposed to do and burn calories in an efficient manner. Right. And the reason that is, just so the listeners understand this, is just like, when you're not at the numbers you need to hit or close to what your body is supposed to be burning, right, it's just going to hold still. So once you get it closer to what you're actually supposed to be burning, well, then the fat loss process happens, right? The body's going, cool, now we got too much, let's burn some of this shit off. But if we never have too much and you're always in a deficit, the body's just like, shit, I don't know what's going on here. Like, I'm just going to hold on to what I do got, because that's the fight or fight response of the body. So it just makes sense.
Now, for our listeners, what would you suggest? Like, how much caloric deficit should you be in to lose a healthy, sustainable, most of all, sustainable weight per week? What would you suggest them to put themselves in a caloric deficit for?
I always like to start everybody off around 200 calories, right? And a lot of people will be like, just drop 500 right away. Well, it's like, I don't want to take 500 calories away from you if you don't need that, right? You could drop 2 pounds per week, 3 pounds per week, just at a 200 calorie deficit, right? And if after a couple weeks you're not dropping that, or maybe it's only like a half a pound, I want to speed it up, then I'll go more aggressive. But it's like, I just want to see what your maintenance is, right? And a lot of times you could put in your maintenance, your height, weight, blah, 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 into a calculator and it'll spit something out. That doesn't mean that's actually your true maintenance. Your true maintenance is basically you tracking your shit for like a week, seeing what it actually looks like, where you're actually maintaining weight versus gaining, dropping, whatever, and then just going off a deficit of that, right? Because if I put my stuff in the calculator right now, it'd probably tell me I could eat 2,500 calories. Well, I've been in a deficit for a minute now, right? I go up and down all the time between calorie or maintenance and deficit and surplus. But it'd tell me the wrong number, and I know it'd tell me the wrong number because all I have to do is increase my food for a little bit, watch my numbers, and if I start gaining some weight, my maintenance is here then.
Awesome. So when you get new clients, how do you go about calculating their BMR? Because I know there's thousands of different ways you can find on the internet to do it, and some of them work, some of them are bullshit. What's your go-to?
Yeah, we have a customized, macro calorie finder, right? And it's like, it's better than what you're probably going to find on the internet, but again, it's just a tool, right? And it doesn't mean it's 100% accurate, but it's a good starting point. And then as long as the client is consistent, right, then we can make it happen. But it's like that sometimes is the hardest part, is the client will not be consistent, right? And if you like going back to the initial question, I think like it's actually harder for people to do the outside work than it is the inside work, right? A lot of people are okay with like, I'll go to the gym 4 or 5 times per week. If I'm not fucking tracking shit, like I'm not meditating, like we have a lot of things, like it's pretty intensive. And it's like, sometimes you could just not get them to fucking just do some of those basic things. And it's like, dude, I can't help you, bro. Like you can go keep doing what you've been doing, but that didn't work for you. So like, I need you to do this.
Right. And I'm sure you get a few of those guys too that'll come in and, you know, you'll be asking them what their diet consists of, and they'll lie their ass off to you and be like, "Oh yeah, I eat this and I eat that," and it's not.
But they
it's not really
they leave off half of what they
they're over
bag.
there eating eat cheeseburgers and fries and pizza all day long, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I had a 6-ounce steak this morning for breakfast." No, you didn't.
Well, like if you were to ask my dad what he ate, he'll be like, "Well, I eat my vegetables and I eat just a little bit of meat." What he doesn't tell you is his helpings are, you know, the size of a large pizza for every single helping he does. You know, and I've been guilty of that too.
Yeah, I think that's just like the human nature, right? We like try to downplay what we're actually doing, and it's cool. Yeah. What's cool is when people actually do what we ask, and then they're like, "Holy shit, that was like putting a mirror in my face, and I finally understand this now," right? Because it's like I was bullshitting myself. I didn't even realize I was bullshitting myself.
Yeah. A lot of people I've noticed also, like if you just give them some advice and you're like, "Here, do this," and they're less apt to do it until they understand why. Once you break it down for them, you know, on an intellectual level and tell them why this is going to work or why they should be doing it, then it helps.
Well, like for me, whenever we first started, so he's been a power lifter for 5+ years, and so whenever we first started going to the gym, I had never stepped foot in a weight room. I always had that, like my whole life I would walk up to that weight room and get like intimidated by seeing all these huge people in there, and I'd be like, I don't want to look like an idiot. But whenever we first started going, you know, he knew a lot more than me. But you can ask him. It was always, well, why do you do this, or what muscle does this work, and blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And now, like understanding how to structure a workout, just because I know, hey, I want to target, you know, my upper pecs today, and versus I wouldn't have known anything prior to it, but the more that I've learned, the more I've understood, the better off I've been long term. So I definitely agree with that. I know that was kind of a word salad.
No, that's
I was trying to say, but
basically what you're saying is it's a skill, and it's a skill you have to obtain, right? And I think a lot of people don't look at their health and fitness like that. They look at it as like, well, I should know how to fucking do this. It's my body, but you know, and it's like, no, you need to actually learn these skills, right? And the weight room is a prime example of that. And I think people are more accepting of that, right? Well, yeah, I need to make sure I don't hurt myself, and I know, you know, how many sets to do, how many reps to do. They don't understand the skills of like knowing your calorie intake, right? Understanding what a macronutrient is, understanding, you know, what 6 grams of, you know, whatever meat or whatever you put on the scale looks like, right? Or 6 ounces or whatever. So like those are all skills. Those are life skills I think everybody should have. And that, right, like unfortunately right now, like it's kind of hard, right? I think in the future, when technology catches up a little bit, it might be a little bit easier. But for right now, it's like, that's kind of what you got to do, because like portion control bullshit, right? Kind of like you were talking about your dad, is like everybody over fucking underestimates what they're actually doing. right? And that's essentially when you weigh, measure your food, and understand how calories work. It's like that's what real portion control is, right? Because it's like you have a set, like, oh, okay, I gotta hit these numbers, right? Because otherwise, it's just like you're throwing darts in the dark, and you're just hoping something hits.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And on top of, so we learned a little fact not that long ago about calories too. This is just a fun fact that you can correct me if I'm wrong, but according to the FDA, they're allowed a 20%, like a 20% one way or another on, like if it says that it's 350 calories, it may be 240, or it could be 420 calories or whatever.
Yeah.
And but a lot of people, they'll like I said with the, I don't know where I was going with that, but the portion control was a biggest. Sorry, I get ahead of myself sometimes.
Yeah,
I get excited, but the portion control was one of my biggest struggles at the beginning, especially because you would look at something and be like, I can eat way more than that. But like, for instance, this past week of me experimenting with my actually measuring things and doing it, I ended up not needing what my eyes told me I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, and that's what the only thing that's worked for me, honestly, because I'm that guy that, like, if I just sit down with the plate and I have no idea how much it is, my ass is getting back up for seconds, thirds. I'm gonna go sneak some of the kids' food. Like, I'm just gonna fucking eat, right? That's what we do. And it's like when I know, it's like, okay, this is what I'm allotted for this meal, right? It's just giving yourself. It's like a budget, right? I think of it as like a bank account, right? If you think about calories like a bank account, it's like, hopefully, if you're financially savvy at all, you understand like how much money you have in your bank account, how much something costs, right? It's like you think about that in calories, right? You start thinking about it like that too, where it's like, I could have this cheeseburger, it's going to cost me, $600, quote unquote, dollars, calories, or I could have, some broccoli, some chicken, whatever, and that's going to be 400, right? I get to save 200 for later, may I have a dessert. So you start thinking about it in those aspects, and it makes it kind of just like a game.
Yeah,
That's a good way to look at it.
Now, what is one thing that, like, so for instance, whenever I started watching what I ate, there's still those things that, like, my trigger foods and stuff. What trigger foods did you have whenever you first started on your fitness journey, and versus how did you remedy that? Like, how do you get around those trigger foods?
Anything fried is my shit. I'm Colombian, so it's like all the food's like fried and shit. And it's like, that's just like what my taste buds like. Like, I could pass up on cookies, no problem, chips, like whatever. You put like a fucking, I don't know, like onion rings or fries in front of me, I'm like smashing the whole shit. So what I did was allowed myself to have those things, right? But it had to be a controlled environment, right? Because when you allow yourself to have those things, you no longer are like, oh my God, right? And then a lot of times what happens is you do it for so long, you look at it and you're like, those look good. But it's like, I don't really, like, I'd rather just have more of this other thing because those are going to take up so much of my calories for today, right? And so when you look at it like that, and again, it's not like me and my wife, we had our anniversary last weekend. We now got some bar food.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Got some bar food, that type of thing, and I didn't hit my protein. Like, it was just a calorie day. Like, I only made sure I hit my calories. But little stuff like that will just take you a long way, right? It's not about just being the most disciplined motherfucker ever. Like, you don't have to be David Goggins, right? You got to just...
I reserve those days for the weekends. I usually on Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, I won't binge the entire weekend, but I'll stay strict all week. That way I can look forward to the weekend. And tell myself, I can power through this week, and then come this weekend I can have that cheeseburger in front of me, or have that ice cream or whatever the case may be.
That's the best way to do it. Yeah, just give yourself that treat, and then you're gonna get right back on the next week.
It keeps me on track, and it keeps me from binging out on the weekdays too. So
and that for me, I kind of do the 80-20 rule. Mostly I try to reserve that for the weekends because I have my boys on the weekend. But the hardest thing that and the most beneficial thing for me that switched in my brain was, before, it's like I do really good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday comes around, I quote unquote fuck up, and I'm like, I guess I'm going to start over on Monday. Well, whenever I realized, okay, I fucked up that meal, that doesn't mean I have to eat like shit for every other meal after that. Right. Like, it doesn't cancel out all the hard work just like you didn't put on all the weight in one day, you're not, or
You're
like
not
that
ruin it all with one.
Yeah,
meal,
you're not going to ruin it all with one meal. So, like, starting to do the 80-20 rule, what I call it, has really made a huge difference. And just like you're like, so what? You fuck up one meal, get back on the horse the next one, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah. And if you watch your weight, it's funny. Like, I don't know if you guys like weigh yourself like all my clients, we weigh ourselves every day. There's, some people say don't do that. I like it because what happens is when you have that meal, you see like the weight spike up and you're like, fuck. And then what happens in a couple of days, it just goes right back down. And you're like, oh, okay. Like a lot of it was just like bloat and extra carbs and whatever. Like, so like train yourself to stay disciplined in those times of being uncomfortable. Because what an undisciplined person does is they eat that meal, they step on the scale, and they say, fuck it, right? And then it's just a continuous cycle. So when you're disciplined, you're like, okay, this is not going to look good, right, for maybe a day or two, and then it'll be back to where it was. So then that trains you to, like, just, like, deal with what you just did and then keep moving forward.
Yeah. See, the biggest problem I've had, and I've had to keep myself in check and be mindful of it every time I eat, is... And I don't know if you're the same way or were. The one thing that I never broke myself of from the military is eating at ridiculous speeds.
Oh,
so
fuck.
I will smash an entire 4-course meal in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm the first one done at the table, and my family's looking at me like, "Holy shit, Dad!" I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
And so I have to be kind of mindful of that because that's one way to overeat really easily because you shovel it in so fast your body hasn't had time to process it and be like, okay, there's food in here now, so you just keep eating because you're not feeling full, and the next thing you know, you've had 3 helpings of healthy food, and now it's not so healthy anymore.
I could smash a 5-course meal in like 3 seconds.
Oh yeah,
I was so bad when I was in that I actually had what do they call that when the acid comes from your esophagus and up to your
reflux?
Acid reflux?
Yeah, like an acid reflux, and I didn't realize what it was until the doctor told me, like, where the food comes in the bottom of your esophagus, like those acids are coming back up. It was burning my throat, and I was like, what is this? And he's like, you're eating too fucking fast. You're not chewing your food enough, right? And he's like, that's what's causing that. And from there, it got better. I'm still really bad with it, like, admittingly. But it helps that I'm like, I can only eat this. So it doesn't matter how fast I eat. Like, I can only eat this. So that makes me, in turn, slow down. Yeah. Like, this is all I give. Like, I better be somewhat full by the time I get done. It. Right, exactly. So for me, what's helped me is just, like, literally what I call it pulling my head above water. Like, instead of just being here, I just make sure I constantly sit up every, like, couple minutes.
I always make myself get up and do something. Like I'll take a few bites, and I'll make myself get up and like go to the restroom and pee, or
that's a good idea.
Go make a drink or something like that.
Yeah,
get myself away from it from time to time.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll admit I'm still really bad about it.
I am too, but I have to keep myself in check.
My biggest problem is I'm on the go all the time. So I work 2 jobs. I own my own company, and I work for my family's company.
Nice.
So it's like the second we get done here, I'll go back to work and stuff. So like it's like I eat whenever I can, and so sometimes like it's like a 30-second meal, and then I really have to keep disciplined about it and try to remind myself.
Well,
and
shout out to you,
when I don't,
man.
people around me.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to you for, like, those are always my favorite stories. The guy that fucking works 2 jobs, fucking drops 60 pounds. It's like everybody, like, everybody's got an excuse, and it's like this motherfucker did it. Like, he's got 2 jobs, so he can do it. Why can't you? So right. Good stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I was the guy that had the million excuses for so long, and really, somebody told me once, they were like, if it's important, that you'll find a way. If it's not important, you'll find an excuse. And the thing is we all have excuses. We all have every excuse in the world. Everybody is going through this life, and it's not easy. You have your ups and downs, but it's what pain are you willing to tolerate? Is it giving up a little bit of time? Is it giving up the Netflix that you're going to watch at the end of the day? Whatever it is. And so I just realized that I wanted to get out there and be able to play with my kids. And it was embarrassing whenever my kids were like, hey, Dad, come outside and push me on the swing. And you go out there for 2 seconds and you're like, what kind of man am I? I get winded walking from the house to the playset, and so it was a humbling thing, and I just was like, you know what, I got to do something. And thank goodness for this guy right here, because if he hadn't made a post on Facebook saying that he wanted a fitness partner, and I impulsively, like, I didn't even think about it. Like, it was probably 2 seconds after he posted it, I was like, I'll do it. And as soon as I said it, I was like, fuck. But thank goodness for that, because as soon as I make a commitment to something, it's almost impossible for me mentally to back out of something. So it was like, okay, well, I got to do this now. And so maybe my subconscious was working on for my better half, but I'm grateful for that. But
that's good.
It's just sometimes you got to decide when you want to make a change, and you're the only one that can do it.
Yeah, no, and it's great that you guys are bigger guys, so it's great to see, like, you guys are representing, the Fatmen podcast. You guys are representing all the big guys out there. It's like, we're fucking doing it. You can do it too, And I think people just need that sometimes, because they look at maybe somebody like me as like, oh, he's already fit. He's never had a struggle. I've been 30, 40 pounds overweight, and that's okay if you don't see that, right? And because maybe I haven't had a struggle with being 100 pounds overweight like some people. So I think when the big guys can do it, and people can see that, it just really puts a lot of belief in guys that look like them.
Yeah.
And we really just want to show that, like I said, in the world of Instagramification, we want to show that, we're just two regular guys that are out here trying, and we're still on our journey. We're not close to where we want to be, but we want to take people along the ride. And as you watch the podcast and as you watch the different content that we put out, you'll be able to see the progress that we make, and you'll see our highs and our lows, because we're not perfect. Like I'm sure even somebody that has a great physique and is where they want to be, you still have your ups and downs.
Oh,
and like days where you struggle.
Oh yeah.
I even think it's important to share those.
Yeah, doing it for so long, sometimes you still step on a scale and it still pisses you off, right? It's like, that don't go away. It just gets easier to deal with,
So what on that topic, talking about stepping on the scale and you don't like what you see, there are people out there, unfortunately, that do that on a daily basis, and they hate themselves for it, and they essentially just give up on themselves. They're like, I'm not making any progress, I'm just getting fatter, or I'm just, everything I do is not helping, fuck it, I give up. What would you say to somebody like that to kind of get them motivated or kind of keep them on track?
I would say what's the alternative? Are you gonna quit because you're gonna be motivated again sometime, right? And I think that's what I see a lot of. It's just like people getting motivated, they do it for a bit, then they get frustrated, then they go back, and then a month later they'll be motivated again. And it's like, imagine if you would have just stuck to the path, right? Because it's like you got to sit in that uncomfortableness, because with the whole sitting on the whole stepping on the scale every day, it's like, yeah, it's great for data. We could do it once a week and we'd probably still get the same amount of data, or maybe a couple times a week. But for me, it's really the mental barrier, right? It's like, oh, fuck, I didn't like that number I don't see. So I'm either going to fight or I'm going to flight, right? And a lot of times people flight, but it's like, if it's part of what you're supposed to be doing, it's like, you don't got anywhere to run. You have to fucking do this, right?
Yeah.
And so then they live to see the next day, and then they live to see the next day and the next day and the next day. And then eventually that number it's going in the right direction. It's just day to day, it's going to do this. And you need to be okay with that, being uncomfortable.
He always makes a reference to, he refers to your fitness journey like toilet paper. If you tore a piece off today, tomorrow you may not notice that one piece, and then you tear off the next day, you may not notice that piece. But you get 60 days in, I can start seeing a difference in 90 days and 6 months.
Over time, that roll's going to get smaller.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Whenever he said that, especially at the beginning, when we first started, I did what you had said a lot of your clients have done. I went in there at my biggest, and I still had that, that mentality of like, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to give it my all. And he was like, slow down, man. You're going to regret this. And that first day, that first or second day after we did it, because we started on like a Wednesday, I remember that weekend I went to wash my hair, the little hair that I have. And I was like, I can't move. I can't move at all. And those are the things that a lot of people that they feel that uncomfortable part, and they're like, oh, fuck this shit. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
But like I said, had I not had somebody that's Don't be a bitch. Come on, get out
Yeah.
of here. You're the only one that can do this for you, and 90% of the
Nobody's
battle
gonna
is
do it for
showing
you.
up.
Yeah.
You know, it's just if I hadn't had that, where would I be today?
I've always liked the saying too, and it's kind of it's a cliche saying, and we don't really like cliches on here, but it rings true every time. It goes, if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. But if you do what's easy, your life's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so true. If you put yourself in the uncomfortable situation day after day and go to the gym and kick your own ass, your life's going to be easy because you're going to be in great shape and you're going to be able to do whatever the hell you want to do. If you sit on your ass and you take the easy route and you just eat potato chips and sit down and watch TV and be lazy, you're going to get fat and you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life.
The late great Richard Simmons said. he said, do you want a moment of happiness for a lifetime of pain, or do you want a moment of pain for a lifetime of happiness?
Yep.
I mean, it comes down to what you're made of and what you're willing to sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of pain in the gym, a little bit of pain with your diet to be able to get out here and do the shit that you actually want to do?
Yeah, I mean, another way is that I always like saying is just like life's going to be hard, right? Life's hard no matter what. It's hard when you're fat, or it's hard when you're fit, right? You pick your hard. Like, which one do you want? Do you want the pain of getting up and going to the gym and eating halfway decent, or you want the pain of fucking being a slob essentially and not having good health?
Exactly.
Yep.
And I'll tell you. So I still serve, and I've noticed the things that I really bitched about when I was at my fattest and serving, it's not nearly as bad as I put it off to be. Because sometimes, like, I would bitch about the thing and not even do the thing that I was bitching about, and now I do that thing. I'm like, what the fuck was I? It's really not that bad, but it makes a big difference having 60 pounds off your
Yeah, it makes
front,
everything easier for sure.
Yeah.
A whole lot. In the realm of pick your pain, though, it's like when you're fat, you're miserable. But then on my end of the token, it's like going to the gym every day, and as long as I've been doing the powerlifting stuff, I wake up every morning and all my joints still hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Going to the gym makes you feel better, but it also
Right.
makes you feel worse at the same time.
Yeah,
I wake up
exactly.
every morning, my back's stiff, my elbows and my knees hurt.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I feel like I'm 90.
yeah, but you
It's worth
you
it,
don't
it
understand
really
where
is.
you
I
feel
seen
like
this
if
shirt the other
you
day.
just didn't do it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen this shirt the other day that kind of made me chuckle, and because I was like, "That's me." It said the vet bod, like the dad bod, except with a lot more back pain.
Very true. Very
So
true.
true.
Yeah, we have
So
shirts
let's kind of shift.
just like that.
Yeah.
Do you?
So let's shift gears a little bit, and let's so you're a veteran. You served in the Marine Corps. Where were you stationed at in those 4 years?
I was mostly in North Carolina and Camp Lejeune. It's kind of like my home base, I guess you could call it. We went to Okinawa, Japan for 6 months, like when I first got in, and then obviously came back to North Carolina, and then we went to Fallujah, Iraq for about 6 months spent there too, and then just kind of all over as far as just training. So California, places like that.
What did you do while you were in the Marine Corps? What was your MOS?
I was a field radio operator. Yeah, for artillery.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're chemical guys in the National Guard. The Seabird,
The
nobody
technical
cares.
term is chemical operations specialist. That sounds really cool, but it's not. It sucks.
Well, it's chemical, biological, radiological,
it is
nuclear.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're glorified car washers. But
Pretty much.
it's a job. It's a job. I only have it for a little bit longer. I'm this close to retirement.
Nice, man. That's awesome. Hey, every billet counts. You know what I'm saying? Like everything counts. I think people get caught up in is like, are you doing a combat role? Yeah, that's cool to say, but it's like, if I didn't have the support of you guys and everybody else and that type of thing, like, and even me, I would support for like the real guys out there getting it, so it's just like, to me, it's just like, I'm always proud to serve, and I'm always proud of seeing other people serve, no matter what it is, right? It's just like, somebody's got to fucking do it.
So what is one of your favorite times of while you were serving? Like a memory that you just, when you think back, you're like, those were the good old days.
Oh shit, I don't know. sometimes it doesn't feel like the good old days, but then other times, I think for me, it was just like my boys at the barracks, right? Hanging out at
Yep.
the barracks, having pizza, having beer, hanging. I kind of had like my own little crew after a while. I was kind of like the quote unquote leader of that crew, and we just always hung out and had fun, and we were just like really good friends. Like I think those were probably some of the best friends I ever met during that time in my life. Like I still haven't met friends like that, and it sucks 'cause it's like I never talked to any of them ever
You
again.
probably never will either.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll
So
never meet guys like that.
yeah, you never meet people like that again. It's just like, but I'm also really grateful because it's like, if had I not gone in the Marine Corps, I would have never met those type of people that, like, really just like I liked them because they were like me, selfishly. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like you're fucking like I can fuck with you, like you're fucking cool as fuck. Like I can be 100% me in front of you, right? Which I think a lot of veterans,
Right.
we struggle with that because it's like we're kind of
Yeah.
all a little fucked up. So it's great to
Yeah,
be around
we're
others.
It's hard to be our true selves in front of just normal civilian people.
Exactly.
Somebody told me that we're all toddlers with rifles, and I was like, "That's true. That's
Very
how
much
many-
so.
that's
Yeah,
true."
we're all
Some-
immature
some-
as fuck.
Some of my favorite memories. So where my unit is, we have a group that we live far enough away that we all always stay overnight whenever we're there, and we call ourselves the overnight boys. We're not all boys, but we're all just the overnight boys, and they're just a group of we're the what is it? The island of the misfit toys,
Yep.
or whatever. That's what we are. We're just a group of hoodlums and we
Castaways.
stupid shit. I've never met so many stupid smart people until I joined the military, and because like you'll talk to these people and you're like, you manage a multi-million-dollar company and you're doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's like life choices, but no. We just some of the best times that I've ever had has been serving, and like you said, it's the camaraderie that you won't ever have anywhere else. And I'm still really lucky that for 16 years I've had that. But he's told me so many times, he's been out for almost a decade,
Yeah.
and he misses it, and I know that every veteran that I've
Every
talked
day.
to, like it's like, man, I miss those times, but.
Yeah, it feels like you get paid to fuck off sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure. It's a brotherhood you won't find anywhere else. That's for
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and half of it, it's like you're doing miserable shit. You just figure out
sure. It makes it more fun when you're with a bunch of retards,
Yeah.
though, like a bunch of
Right.
stupid people.
Yeah.
you find the joy in misery. That's
Yeah.
that's what the military is, finding the joy in the miserable shit.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just I really I thank you for your service, and
Yes, thank you.
thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you
for
guys.
all that you've done. And no, one thing that I wanted to dive back into is so if you had any like really good words of wisdom that you would share with somebody that that had never been to the gym that wants to get started, what's the first piece of advice that you would give them?
Oh man, that's a good one. I think you guys are onto the right thing here. So having a buddy, I have seen that fail a lot of times though. So like not to like rain on what you guys got going on because it's great. Like when it works, fucking awesome. I have seen that fail a lot though because what happens is like your buddy who you're like, I don't feel like going to the gym, and then he's like, yeah, I kind of don't either, and then you fucking both don't go. Instead of him calling you a pussy like he should, right, and be like, we're going, right, he just kind of bitches out too. And so that's where I've seen it fail, right, and that's unfortunate, and it's probably seems like I'm like plugging my own thing. I don't care who you work with, but it's like I really believe that you should pay to get the extra help because that's 100% going to make you take it serious, right? Even if it's just like $100 to some online guy to give you like a workout to do, and maybe he checks in with you like once a week or something. Like that's not what I do. Like we're way more intensive than that. But even if that's all you do, I think having a plan when you go and making sure you have somebody that is accountable to you, right? And preferably somebody that you may be paid to make you accountable, right? Versus just like your buddy down the street, because I've just seen it not work so many times. And again, the fact that you guys did, it's fucking awesome. So like, I think that's the biggest part because when you have skin in the game, like real skin in the game, you're gonna fucking take it serious. And I think that's what a lot of veterans unfortunately don't. They see me with the program, they're like, "Oh, you're fucking preying on vets, and you should give this for free." It's like, no, bro, go to the like you went to the VA, you went to the dietitian, none of that shit works. Why doesn't it work? Tell me why it doesn't work. Because you don't pay for it, right? You don't have any skin in the game. Do you deserve it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't care. But it's like I only want to work with people that's like, I need to fucking put skin in the game, so I know 100% I will take this serious because I haven't took the free shit serious, right? And a lot of times that's what happens. So again, just to like circle back around your question, it's like get the help, make sure you have a legit plan when you go, and make sure you have some kind of accountability system to keep you true to what you said you were going to do.
And to kind of go off of what you said, so with my company, I do I own a video production company,
Nice.
and there's been times over the years that I have offered free services to people, and you want to know something? 9 times out of 10, almost exclusively, whenever I've offered those free services, and I'm not talking about just like something small, like I'll do a whole entire production for you, no cost. And these have been big companies to small people, you know. And whenever I've offered it for free, most of the time they don't take it serious. They're like, "Oh, nothing." But whenever I've offered it, like I wasn't really getting anything out of it, offered it at like a steep discount, those people that put a little bit of skin into the game, they're like, "Oh fuck, I put some money in this, I better take this serious." So like that, I can get behind what you're doing, and I think that it's great, and I think that it's important, and especially with there's so many resources out there. There may be so many resources out there for veterans, but A, they're underutilized. B, they're underutilized because people don't know how to get them. But whenever they're free, a lot of times we don't take it serious. And so like I think that it's great that there's people like you that's out here with your mission to help us, that help the people that was willing to sacrifice their lives, willing to put their lives on the line for this country. So I think that that's really awesome and incredible that you're doing. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it just ties back to like what my belief system, and my belief system is that if you invest in yourself, it always pays you back 100%, right? And so it's like if you getting a personal trainer or something like that starts that process of you investing in yourself and your self-development, right? Then that's like a blessing in itself, because once you do it once and you see the benefits of it, you're going to keep doing it. So then you're going to get financially educated. Then you're going to get, emotionally, educated. Maybe you'll go to counseling with your wife. Maybe you'll, have relationship counseling. Maybe you'll do all these things because you realize like the more I invest into myself, the better my life becomes, right? And if I can be the stepping stone to that, like that just made my whole fucking day, because it doesn't end in just fitness. It ends with everything, right? Relationship, spiritual, mindset, like all that stuff. You've got to constantly be investing back into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've told him, I mean, he knows better than anybody. So I've owned my company for roughly 8 years. But up until 2 years, I've done more in the past 2 years with my company than I ever have in my whole career. But you know what happened 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I started taking care of myself.
Exactly.
And like that's the people that's the thing that a lot of people don't relate. They're like, it's not just a physical game. Like this affects the rest of your life. And I mean, between the confidence, between you build discipline, because I think motivation only gets you so far. We always talk about motivation may get you in the gym, but discipline's what keeps you there.
Exactly.
And consistency is the key to everything. And so building that discipline and realizing that there's value in what I'm doing, and it gives you mental clarity and everything else. Like it's helped me in the rest of my life tenfold, and it's something that I'm the most grateful for. But that's the part that a lot of people forget about. They think it's just a physical game, but there's so much more to it than.
Well, there's people out there that are going to spend the money regardless, but they spend it on the wrong shit. I mean, somebody who's out of shape, or whether it's overweight or underweight or whatever the case may be, they're going to buy things to try to mask that shit. You know, like the buying the expensive purses, or the the Balenciaga shoes, or whatever the case. You know, the Louis Vuitton clothing and all this shit. You know, they're spending that money trying to make themselves feel better because they're uncomfortable with themselves. Why not put that money for the right purpose and get a freaking personal trainer and get something out of it instead of just masking your problem? Spend that money on something proper and get some returns on that shit.
Well, kind of like what you had talked about. Thinking of your calories like a bank account. I had heard something. So the poor, they spend their money on experiences. The ambitious spend their money on skills, and the wealthy, they spend their money on investments. And it relates into fitness and what are you investing in? What do you want out of life? And so, I mean, it all comes down to your pain points. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to work towards to have the kind of life that you want to have?
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't say it better myself. I mean, it's just, how you do anything is how you do everything. It's a big tenet in my life. It's just like, and it makes sense to me that you are doing better in business now that once you started your health journey, because what happened was like you basically respect yourself more now, right? So then when you respect yourself more, you demand respect from other people more, right? And you don't have to say it, right? It exudes off you, right? And that's what happens. I think people have like they lose credibility with themselves. I call it having credibility with yourself, right? Every time you fucking hit that snooze button, every time you skip the gym, every time you eat that fucking cheeseburger instead of the thing you already had planned, right? You lose credibility with yourself. And when you don't have any credibility with yourself, like nobody else is going to be looking at you like you're credible either, right? But once you gain that credibility with yourself, it's like you just, like I said, you exude that confidence and that respect for yourself, and other people just have no choice but to fall in line with that.
Yep.
Exactly, and like even in the military, I'm a leader. I have Joes that follow under me, and I'm supposed to lead by example. And now I can lead by example, But they say that I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Bullshit walks and
money talks.
Yeah.
I just throwing shit out there. I don't know.
Bullshit. Well, either way, I would. It's really easy to bullshit your way whenever you're in leadership, but it's important to follow by example. And now, after doing everything that we're doing, I feel confident, more confident as a leader. I feel more confident as a man in general, and I think that's an important attribute. And so, yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that. My ADD got the best of me.
No, Point well made. Well made.
I tried to circle it around. It's like there's so many questions in a limited amount of time. I'm trying to think of everything.
Come on, you're supposed to be a polished podcaster by now, man. What's going on?
Oh, I know. We're getting we're far from polished, but we're getting there.
Yeah. I'm the same
we're
way.
Podcasters, but we're still ignorant.
Yeah, we're getting there a little bit each day.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm like, shit. What was I saying?
Yeah,
I do that on a daily basis.
But
I got short-term memory loss like a motherfucker.
Real quick, if anybody was interested in reaching out to you and getting assistance from you, where can they find you? What websites, socials, anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. So probably the best place to get value and to contact me directly would be Instagram. So it's at BodyOps, so BODY_OPS. We got a free group on Facebook. There's a direct link to that off my Instagram. I also have a podcast called the Fit Veteran Podcast. Find that anywhere you find podcasts. And then thebodyops.com is our official website. You can go there and look. I mean, it's okay, but like if you want value, go hit the YouTube or hit the Instagram. I think that's the best place to get at least some free value.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
I actually joined your Facebook group.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that's how I found you. I found I seen a thing that you were looking for veterans and stuff, and whenever I binged all of your content on your Facebook page. I was like, I I like this dude.
He's a stalker.
I am.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I was creeping on your Facebook, as they say, but
Save your pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, but I was like, I like this dude. I would love to talk to you. So I really appreciate the time you've taken and to spend with us, and the value you've brought to our audience, and to anybody that's out there watching us. And that if you have a fitness journey or you have a fitness struggle, we want to hear about it. And you can reach out to us on our Facebook group, the Fatmen Community Group, which is for you guys. We want to hear about your fitness journeys. We want to hear about your wins, things that you're struggling with, and any valuable content that you would like to put on there. And please check us out on YouTube at the Fatman Project. You can find us on TikTok, which I just got to say, thank you for all the love and support that you've all given us.
Yes.
It's been amazing. And
it's grown exponentially thanks to you guys. We appreciate that.
We're well over 10,000 followers, and we're so grateful for that, and all the engagement we've gotten from you guys. So thank you. And then if you are a trainer or a coach or nutritionalist, anything in between, and you have a story you want to share, you have expertise you would like to share, please reach out to us. We would love to have you on the podcast, because at the end of the day, our whole goal for this podcast is to help bring you guys value and show support and show you that we're just two dudes that are trying to figure our way out through this fitness thing, and we want to take you along for the ride and just give you guys the support that we know that we wish we had for all those years. And now we're lucky enough that we have a really great community with you guys and everybody that surrounds us. So if please feel free to reach out to us. And to Matt Priess, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's been a great time. We'll have to have you on again. There's so many questions
we haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet.
Man,
questions for you. So
many questions that we could ask you all day. So we'll have to have you on again. But thank you so much for being on. Is there any last words of wisdom you would like to share with the audience, or something, a takeaway that you would like to give our audience to
keep them motivated?
Yeah, keep them motivated.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I just want to say thanks for having me. Thanks for reaching out. I know it's
definitely.
Sometimes it's not always easy to reach out to people you don't know. So, but we're veterans brothers. So, again, I appreciate it. I'd love to have you guys on at some point too.
Sure,
absolutely.
Yeah. As far as words of motivation, so like we talked about, kind of like motivation's fleeting. It's gonna come, it's gonna go. So really set yourself up for success every day. Dial in your routine, right? Everybody should have a morning routine. Everybody should have an evening routine, right? Even if we have a morning alarm, we should have an evening alarm, right? Tell us to take our ass to bed. It's 10 o'clock over here. It's already past my bedtime. So these guys, they better feel pretty special, because they kept me up late, and nobody really gets to do that. No, all jokes aside, just make sure your day's dialed in, right? And there's no excuses, right? People got a couple jobs. People got, we work with several veterans that have, are amputees. They're in a wheelchair, and they've dropped weight with us, right? So, so no excuses. Dial in your day, and just get 1% better every day.
Awesome.
I like that.
Great advice.
I like that.
Great advice.
Well, I'm Mitch.
And I'm Dustin.
And this is the Fatman Podcast.
Don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.